So we're gonna see if we can tear this thing apart, modify it, and go from there. So these are the parts. That's for front. I'm gonna mainly work on this. And I got my license plate. So we'll give it a go. Took the seat out, one bolt on that. This is a 501 S22. So take that one bolt out, get the seat off. Now, this wiring harness, which is kind of runs, see where it clips in. I'm getting a video, so if I mess myself up, I can look at it later. And it comes along here. I haven't taken any of this out yet because it's a brand new bike. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little look at everything. From stock from the factory, it's nice to see it when it's still clean somewhat. Good. All right. Now we're going to get these two bolts right here. 1 and 2. All right, so we got the two bottom bolts to the carbon subframe. Now we're going to get these. This is a 6mm on this side and a 6 right under the wires. So we're going to get those two. Okay, when all else fails, the hammer comes out. My favorite part. So I've got the 6 bolts out underneath. There's 2 plastic ones that basically go into that hold the plastic, so that's, you can see the plastic threads. These 2, so there's 6 bolts total. Now I'm gonna try to attempt to get this thing out. It's as easy as that, right? It slides in there real nice, but okay, there she is. Whole fender's off. Now we'll modify it. Okay. So it looks like on the inside, all the wires, I still got them hooked up. I'll work on that in a minute. Clean it up. So I'm giving you the GoPro from the drone view. See if this works. Plastic. Two. This whole, you can see this whole piece coming off. All right, so 3 of those. All right. Okay, so I took out these 2 bolts, or they're not bolts, they're little plastic screws that go here. Now the tricky part is getting this black piece off the white fender. I've got the whole thing disengaged, which I think is going to be easier, just so I can get better access to it. But I got a screwdriver kind of on this top part, right around this eyelet, and it just kind of is able to smooth, kind of click it out. So kind of popped out. You can hear it kind of pop. My light's probably too much. And then it's going to be coming out on this side too. Seemed like it was easy enough, but it took me a little while to figure that out. Oh, all right, there it is. All off. And then I've got the spider web of wires. All right, so we're going to get this part. I'm going to label these up, clean this up a little bit, and then show you some more stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking off the right and left blinkers. Oh, they're labeled. Right, left. And we are going to pop these things. These little quick connects should come straight off. It's fairly easy. I've got a little tool here to help me with that. So what we're doing is we're removing. So I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to try to use some of the stock. I kind of like this case that comes with the OEM. This part, we're not going to use any of this bottom part, so I'm going to cut. I'm going to come across this way here. So you can kind of design however you want to slice and dice this thing. You can kind of see how it comes around in here. So I'm going to hit that and then just kind of come down to the corner. All right, so that's kind of my plan. I'm going to take my Dremel and that'll be my next segment there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to trace these wires, the turn signals, and so the license plate light is this guy, which we're not going to use. So we want to get rid of that one. So we're going to trace this all the way back up. So there's 3 big wiring things, and I've already kind of traced them, but this one's the turn signals, and oh, it's actually labeled. That turn signal is kind of hidden under here, and I've got that labeled. And then this is the tail light, so we're keeping this one. This is good. And this one here is the license plate. We're going to get rid of that one. So this is a little smaller. It kind of has a different fitting than these other 2 big ones. So we're going to get rid of the license plate light because we don't need that, and we'll be good. Part of it. So we're going to keep, because I like this holder where the light sits into because it's from the factory. So I'm going to keep this part of it, and we're going to get rid of this half. We're going to keep the top, wave the bottom, and I'm going to try not to cut my other wires. Let's give this a go. I don't know how this will turn out on the video because I'm trimming it. Okay. Boom. All right. Yeah, I think it weighs about. It's heavy. Why does this thing weigh, huh? We're gonna get rid of that. Okay. All right. Well, if you want to see what this thing weighs, so I got this whole thing off, about a pound. And this thing is, that's what's left of it. Okay, so I've got the 2 holes drilled, one for the turn signal wire, and then I've got for the bolt that holds the back of the stick ass in the, it basically screws on. The problem that I ran into is, watch where you put this second hole, the smaller one, because when it comes out the other side, I have it, it's easy for me right now because I have it, but it hits this thing. You can see how I kind of chewed that up a little bit. So that was my bag on that. So this other location, I'm going to drill it a little bit so I have a little more room. Okay. Okay, so let me show you the 3 holes I've got. So this is the 5/16. So I like my left side better because it's a little further down. This is the turn signal wire. This is for the bolt to hold the stick ass turn signal on, compared to my other side, because I was running into issues with the bolt on this side. I don't know if you can see that, but I was hitting that from that hole. So the other side has a little better angle. Now the other ones that were kind of fun to drill, or not fun, but they were just kind of challenging spots. Those are 5/16 holes into the central, where the other wire cables are going to kind of lie in there. So that's where we're at right now. We're going to kind of bolt things up. All right, so here's another little tip I like to do. I use this Clear RTV silicone adhesive sealant. I'll put a little dab on this just to keep this from swinging around. Sometimes it can get loose and it'll just hold it onto this. So I'm going to put some on there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I got the right side on. Now I'm going to work on the left. Got the Clear RTV silicone. I'm just going to put a little dab on this. And here, I like to do this just because I've had these come off. They kind of, I don't know, they just slip off their little rubber gaskets. Now, quick little tip. See that little screw? That's to take off this clear lens later when you break it. If you break it. I have spares already, but I've done that a few times. So that little screw, it's real tiny, but you can unscrew that to take off this lens, and that's the only way to get that lens, and it holds that on there, but it's not for anything else but that lens. You don't need it for the thing. All right, so now let's see how all my, so 5/16 hole here puts, we're going to run that through there, and so that goes on there. And then this one, I've got this other hole, I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's drilled up into the main junction. So I'm going to stick that through there. So that's how that comes out. So I kind of got it, I did it in the corner. So it just kind of comes out that way. And then I'm just going to keep that silicone on there. Okay, so this one might be a little tricky. This is the one that I didn't like the hole placement, but we'll see if we can make it work. You can kind of see. So I'm going to put some blue Loctite on my screw. Oops, it's kind of a mess. Okay, so a quick preview here. So we got the right and left lights on now. This guy kind of fits right up in there. And now I'm going to get ready and add the KTM plate here. It's a little, it doesn't fit super flush, so I'll probably drill these bottom two holes. Okay, so now, I drilled a new, this was already here. That's a new bolt hole, and I'm using this top one. And I drilled this one in the plate, that one in the plate, and then this one in the plate. So 3 on the KTM plate. All right, it's mounted. Okay, so we got 4 bolts flat underneath. This is so much easier when you take it off the whole bike because you want to have room to get in there. And now we're going to be... Okay, so I ran my tail light wire that's connected to my tail light there, and this one, so I've got my right and left, and I've labeled these right and left, so that's going to make it a little easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug these in. All right, so just double checking it. Right to right, left to left. So that should work. Okay, then the trick is going to be tucking all this in so I can hide it. And you can see this is all up here. Good. Possible to do it while it's on the bike. So this thing just kind of tongue and groove. And I've got that snugged up in there. Then I'm going to try to stretch it over. all of this. I got a few zip ties in there holding it. So then the question is, can I get this all in there? See how that fits there. Oh, not too bad. So I got my holes lined up. There. You can see where that's, we're gonna shove that down in there. So I think this would be hard to do it on the bike. Ooh, catch that there. So I had to go back and watch my video. These are plastic screws that hold the license plate in, which didn't seem like that was the right, not the license plate, but the tail light. So we're on the home stretch with the fender eliminator. Boom! It's easy as that. So this is where we're at. We've got the taillight in. We took out the license plate light, and we've got all the cables. So now it's just a matter of mounting it up. So the underneath is, it had a few little spots. I had to use these without washers for the lights, the sick-ass lights, and it was not a problem, but needed to remount the flush. This little, okay. Now, get them all, it's kind of a snap fit. That's why it's hard to get this fender. And once it's in, you can hear it click. Now it's solid. Okay, first look at it. Probably should check the lights before I get it too far. And, oh, it's nice and labeled. So let's check the turn signal. Okay, just tucking in the wires. Now let's put it up kind of through the front of the battery here. And it's nice having it labeled, so you can just go click, click, and be all done. So turn signal into turn signal. Good. And then tail light into tail light. Let's see if this thing works. Time to put things back together. So 6 bolts. I kind of forgot where these were. I had to go back and look at my video, but these are the plastic ones up here. And we're going to go ahead and start putting those in. We've got lights. The fender eliminator, fender terminated. All right, from that to this, super clean. Okay, great.